We are so back. Now, if you somehow don't know, Arsenal have agreed a deal in principle and got the here we go to sign Eberechi Eze from Crystal Palace, which will be the third attacking signing that Arsenal have made this summer. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about exactly how he would be perfect with the problems that Arsenal have had recently and just how the deal has happened overall. So let's get into it. Now, straight off the bat, I'm sorry because I'm going to be smiling a lot in this video because the last 5 to 6 hours have been probably the biggest roller coaster in terms of an Arsenal fan, which you're probably ever gonna get. Obviously, the day started with the Kai Havertz injury. I ended up doing a stream looking at replacements, and in that stream, I kept saying that I want Arsenal to go out there and buy an absolute star and then figure it out. Buy a player that can fit in different roles and kind of figure out how to move them into different areas in order to facilitate that Havertz leave. And the crazy thing is, just 2 to 3 hours after I made that stream, the news reported on my phone was beeping, and it was Eberechi Eze to Arsenal is in talks from David Ornstein, an absolute bomber by David Ornstein that came out, which has probably been the biggest one this summer. That is just insane to see. Now, from the transfer overall, not only is this a player that I have said multiple times, if you can't buy a winger, just get Eze because we know it's guaranteed quality and we'll figure a way to fit him in. But also, there is just something so sweet about us calling our interest for 2 to 3 weeks now, people being like, no, Arsenal don't want him, they've looked at other targets. The amount of annoyance from the Trossard pay increase and the Havertz injury over the last couple of days, to then Arsenal just going, you know what, we'll spend the money. Now, there's definitely questions to ask about where did this money come from. We clearly had it the entire time, but there's no reason to talk about that now. This is ultimately a great thing, and there's something so sweet about getting a player out from your rival's clutches just at the last minute. I can't lie, it's probably going to be one of my favourite transfers that Arsenal have done in a very long time. Now, of course, we've gone over Eberechi Eze a few times on this channel over a month ago now, not really recently, but we have spoke about him quite a lot about how he fits in the team. Now, I don't want to go through a full tactical recap because if you want to see exactly how I think he fits in the team, go and watch them videos. But I think something that we need to talk about in this video specifically is how he improves us from what we saw against Manchester United last weekend, and just straight away comparisons that we can make from that decision, which I do think helps the reason we have signed him. Now, first of all, Eberechi Eze is one of them insanely great, smart counter-attacking players. I was watching him against Chelsea on the weekend, and every single time that Crystal Palace went to break against Chelsea, they'd put the ball out maybe into the left side to Eze, maybe down this wing position, or even inside a lot of the time when he comes into the centre, and every single time this guy picks the right decision. He knows the weight of pass he needs to do, he knows how to keep the ball away from players, and there's a few moments where I was just absolutely amazed by how he found a good pass. I think there's a moment when he's on this left wing side, you're like, well, there's no options there for him, and he's able to just lift his right foot over, kick the ball over so nonchalantly as well to his players to run through. And I get that he has that connection with Mateta, but that is something fundamentally Arsenal do not have. And that does lead us on to our biggest problem in that Manchester United game. Now, obviously, there's problems with the press and the build-up and all that stuff, which I'm sure will get sorted over time when we're not as rusty. But fundamentally, we were poor on the counter-attack. Now, some of that was the release of Odegaard not being perfect. I think maybe being too early, not being the right weight of pass. But also the run-in wasn't good as well, which I do think is something that can be solved. I don't think it's the end of the world at all. Now, Eze can come into the centre in these positions and help Arsenal on the counter-attack. Not only will he be a willing runner and running behind if he has to for an Odegaard if he picks up the ball, let's say in that left wing position, he's so much better at bringing players into play. You saw that chance from Martinelli in the centre of the park and he overhits that pass to the left hand side. Eze ain't going to do that. Eze's going to make the right passes when he needs to and keep the ball for the team, allowing us to be that more effective team on the counter-attack, and that direct style of play that I think we've been alluding to and playing more in that game, I think will happen even more with an Eberechi Eze inside the squad. So I can completely get behind that in that moment. He's also physical, he's determined, and we talk about some of the movements that Gyökeres makes and we go, well, no one's passing the ball through to him, they're not using Gyökeres enough, we're not playing towards his strengths. I will tell you that Eberechi Eze will play to his strengths. He's a player that will pick the ball up in these little half pockets and space and bring players towards him and then be able to slide that ball through for a Gyökeres running through. He is going to do that majority on this left hand side, and Gyökeres does prefer kind of running on the left even though he has run on the right a lot, and I actually think this makes a lot more sense. This allows Gyökeres to make his runs in the area he prefers, even though he's a bit fine with that. It's not that big of a deal for him. He can run anywhere. And it also allows so much different tactical changes for the team. I think Eze is that proper attacking midfielder. If you want to play him in some games, you've got the ball a lot and Odegaard isn't quite being that creative self in that sense, then you can bring him in. I think in terms of the press, that he is going to have to learn it. He doesn't press a lot at Palace. They're not a big pressing team. They kind of sit off a little bit. So obviously he'll have to learn that. But if you want to make it a little bit easy for him, I think he will play on the left wing a few times. And I know I've had problems with that. But if you have Calafiori next to him doing this chaotic running, I think it can work. He can play deeper. He can play wider on that wing area. And he is a dribbler. I cannot tell you how much I've wanted a dribbler for such a long time. Just someone that can take the ball around players consistently and physically. It's just something we have needed. This is why I'm such a big advocate of someone like Leao. And Eze is more like the wing fielder type of Leao, which I absolutely love. And I can't tell you guys how much this is a real big transfer for the team, because not only is that missing piece, which yesterday we spoke about in the Trossard video, feeling like we were missing one piece to kind of finish this squad out. He is definitely one of these pieces. Not only that is the fact that he just makes our midfield way more complete. We have signed this season Zubimendi, Norgard to be fair, and now Eze in the midfield alone. And obviously if you think about other midfield positions, we've got Dalman, who's like a winger midfielder type. You've got Ethan, who's going to play there a lot more. And you couple that up with people like Madueke, you couple that up with people like Gyökeres, our forward line and attack now just looks infinitely better with an Eberechi Eze on the roster. The team looks so much more comfortable. The team has so much more depth in any different ways, and it just makes so much sense if we're going to play this direct counter-attacking style, which suits Eberechi Eze's game. He's a win-now player. He's 27 years old. He wants to play for the club, and he's wanted to play for the club the entire summer, and he's an Arsenal boy through and through. He was at the Arsenal Academy. We've brought him home. There is just so much that we can get behind this signing. I think, and I've gone on multiple times, that I would prefer a left winger signing. Now, given everything that's happening and given how the market is kind of shifted, the left wingers are not that good. I spoke about this on the stream yesterday, but I was not happy with the left winger options we said. You know, go and watch that stream for the ones that we went through. And I don't mind like a project player like a Fofana, for instance, Malik Fofana from Lyon. I think he's a great player, but that's not going to be like a class player that we need now to get us over the edge. And I'm sick of Arsenal missing out on opportunities because they are unwilling to pay 10 to 20 million more for players, which may be an overspend, but ultimately we need them now. Do I think Eze for 68 million pounds is an overspend? Yes. Do I care? No. It is fundamentally the point and time where Arsenal need to act. And I know there's going to be conversations about, is this happening because of the Kai Havertz injury? I mean, it looks like that Arsenal have kind of acted because of that injury happening, which is not good. Kind of makes you look like Havertz has got injured for a long time. But this isn't a tried and trusted replacement. This isn't having a Havertz get injured and then buying an old striker to kind of facilitate that role. You know, we were talking about Bajanovic on the stream. We were talking about Sorloth, these sort of players that would be that stopgap option. This is a player that not only is in his prime and going to help the team, but is a player that we've been linked to for years, linked to for months, and really trying to get him, agree in personal terms a very long time ago, but also someone that doesn't necessarily find that fit for Havertz. And when Havertz comes back from injury in a couple of months' time, hopefully, or whatever, hopefully it's, you know, in a couple of weeks' time, we've got another player now that can get us through the edge. Now, I do think he will play in left wing more than you would think, but I don't think that is necessarily the baddest thing that some people have made it out to be. If we play him left wing in this current setup and play this direct counter-attacking approach, I think it works a lot better. I think if you play him in this setup with a Calafiori overlapping, it also works really well. But I do think this opens up the idea of Arsenal being able to change their front line a lot more. You can easily play a 4-2-4, which I've been going on for a while that Arsenal might look to go into at some point, or a 4-4-2 if you want to say that. Put Trossard or Martinelli as that left striker and Gyökeres as the right striker. Make them play off each other. Have Eze as the left winger. He can move more out wide and allow Martinelli to move more centrally. You could technically do this with the 4-3-3 we use anyway. And we talk about players that are Wenger-coded, wing fielder types, players that are just so independent they can take players on and create when you need it to. This is that player that we wanted. It's our most expensive signing it will be of the summer so far, probably will be generally. So it is a big deal. And I know yesterday I probably made quite an angry video for someone like me who is like a little bit more level-headed in terms of the things that Arsenal do. I did keep saying that I want to judge Angelo Alberto by the end of the window. And I think now we're moving into that way. I think I can definitely accept this as a signing, and I can definitely accept this as our forward line. You know, if you told me at the start of the summer our 3 forwards that we were going to sign are going to be Eze, Madueke and Gyökeres, I would have said you were crazy. Doesn't mean it's a bad idea, I just didn't see it coming. But Arsenal always got something up their sleeve and they're doing something. I believe that this club knew that this window was the best, and this is a real show of intent that we were asking for yesterday. And the entire way that the things gone about it yesterday was just insane. Like, if any of you were on social media, I was busy actually at the time and my phone was blowing up and I was like, what is going on Twitter? What is actually happening? I went on there and I was just absolutely amazed. It seems like Arsenal had always had them conversations kind of there, but they kind of just completely left them with Palace. And even people like David Ornstein were reporting that it was a one-horse race for Tottenham to get him just earlier in the day and even yesterday. Now, it seems like maybe the Havertz move kind of pushed us into this, but also we acted very quickly. Within 3 to 4 hours, apparently the deal was agreed in the morning, which Miguel Delaney is reporting. And in the end, we just agreed a deal. We agreed a better bonus structure than they did. And we said to Eze, apparently when he was driving, we called him up and asked him to come. And instantly he said yes, because he wants to play for this team. And sometimes, like, I talk about the tactical things, and we probably will go into more tactical things with Eze. It is a weird fit. And I think not only is it more fun than anything, which, oh my God, Arsenal need fun players, unbelievably so. It's just something that we can all get behind. The soft factors of him being an Arsenal fan and the story there is already something that we've all got behind. But the fact that we've had a summer where I think we can all disagree on certain transfers, such as Gyökeres, such as Madueke, such as even a Norgard or a Kepa, or these players that people have disagreed with over the last couple of months. I think this is a player that not many Arsenal fans are disagreeing. There might be rival fans who downplay it and say this isn't good, but the more I kept looking over the last week, I just kept thinking that Eberechi Eze is the one that we need. He's just the one that makes the most sense. He's there on the table, bring him in. And I'm just happy that we have finally acted when we needed to. Now, in terms of the transfer window, like, what else is happening? We need to sell players. Like, it looks like Kivior is probably going to leave maybe at the moment. Nelson will probably go. Maybe hopefully Zinchenko does as well. So there will be some sort of squad free up happening. And I do believe that these sales might help us in the future. Do I think this is probably the last summer? My head says yes, it will be, but my heart still says no. I know, call me deluded, call me crazy. Like, what is going on? I'm so selfish. We just got Eze, you know, be happy with that. And if this is where the market ends in terms of transfers incoming, I could be a lot more accepting of that than before Eze came in. A lot more happy, and kind of understand our perspective. We spent a lot of money, the intention is there, and you know, in many ways it has been an unprecedented summer. But oh my God, like, the happiness that I saw when I saw that tweet by David Ornstein was unreal. I mean, it's a crazy time. I'm sorry that this video is a little bit disjointed, but I mean, I can't even hold my emotions sometimes. It is what it is. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about Eberechi Eze joining Arsenal. I just can't believe it.